if I may. Many years ago I was teaching a class and they were a fabulous group of Year 5, 6 students. I used to like to have behavioural foci with them. So for this fortnight we focused on acts of kindness was what we were looking for. And I would give out tables points for anybody who I saw doing kind things in our classroom. And my students got to work quickly. And so I very rapidly had students who would look at me and then look at the student next to them and grab their pencil and sneak off to the bin and give it a good sharpen, even though that pencil didn't particularly need sharpening, because they were just trying to get caught by me doing the right thing. It was a fabulous thing to get going. What I realised over the 2 weeks though is that that element of competition started to really impact the way that they were being kind. For instance, I would see a student look over at another student on another table, ready to jump up and sharpen that pencil. And just as they got up, I would see a student on the table next to them jump up and stand in the way, so that I couldn't see them being particularly kind to another student. They'd actually learned in this caper to play a bit of defence, to block, to make sure that I wasn't able to hand out points to that student being kind. And I thought, I'm not quite sure that that's the kind of kindness that I actually was trying to develop in my classroom. We got to the end of the 2 weeks and we sat in a checkout circle, as we often did, just reflecting on the way that we'd been able to conduct ourselves and the effort that we provided. And the students were horribly distracted. And I found myself asking, okay guys, do you just want to know the score? And they said, yeah, we just want to know the score. So I took out the envelope with the scorecard on it and I announced to them that the winners of the kindness challenge was the red team. And the red team went, yes! And they stood up and they went, in your face, blue team. And I thought, I really have missed the boat on kindness. And how had I missed the boat? What had gone wrong? What had gone wrong was that I had invited into a collaborative environment. A school is a collaborative environment. A classroom is a collaborative environment. And I had invited in a tactic that was decidedly competitive. I'd asked them to compete against each other, and when I do, the urge to demonstrate competitive behaviours comes across over the top of the target behaviour. It becomes more prevalent than the target itself. And so what I realised that what I needed to do if I wanted to emphasise this behavioural foci was to not make it competitive. Competitive environments are fantastic. In sporting environments, in a race, you learn how to win, you learn how to lose, therefore you learn sportsmanship, you learn resilience, and you even learn some old values like valour and gallantry while you're in those environments. They're fantastic. That's what they're there for. But the elements of those don't necessarily belong in the classroom because we're collaborative in there. I needed them to work together, so what did I do? I found a wonderful piece of PVC piping, that clear tube, and I ran it down the walls, 2 walls of the classroom in a diagonal down towards the floor. And any time in the next 2 weeks that someone in my classroom demonstrated a kind behaviour, I flicked a marble to them. They jumped up onto the table and popped that marble in the tube, and everybody watched it run down the 2 walls of the classroom with a little and as it dropped into a small bucket at the end, everyone went, yay, good one. When the bucket was full, we agreed that we would have a class disco, and my kids were incredibly motivated by that. But when I noticed the big difference was when I saw that they were kind in the way that they were not preventing the others from getting a marble. They were kind in the way that they were encouraging the others to get a marble. And I would see kids who had perhaps got a few marbles walk over to kids who hadn't got one and going, come on, you need to do something to be kind, think of something, you want an idea. And what they'd started to do was to work together to fill that bucket more effectively. I want you to think about drawing a really clear line between competition and collaboration. Let the competitive mechanism sit where competition is and allow us to get the benefits of it. Let the collaborative, the cooperative mechanisms sit within the collaborative environment and get full benefit from it on that side.